Hi everyone. Okay, so I'm making this video just to explain how to solve these sums that we did in class today. I know some of you were getting some issues with doing it, so I'm going to try to do it step by step. So what I want you to do is I want you to get your mathematics book and a pencil and an eraser and to follow along with me. All right, so before we begin the sums, we need to understand this, right? When we know how much one thing has, and we have to find out how much more than one of the same thing has, we have to multiply. So for example, if we know that one dog has 4 legs, and we want to find out how many legs 3 dogs will have, we have to multiply the 4, which is how much one has, times the 3, which is how much we want to find out. So we would say 4 times 3. If we know that one bowl has 5 apples in it, and we want to know how many apples 2 bowls will have in it, we have to multiply 5. That's how many bowls in one, how many apples in one bowl. We have to multiply that times 2, which is how many bowls we have. So you multiply how much one has times how much we want to find out, right? So when we know how much one has and we have to find out how much more than one has, we multiply. So let's look at this sum. The question asks, how many legs do 5 tables have? And we're going through how to write the word statements, right? So it asks, how many legs do 5 tables have? So the first thing we have to put is how much one has. So one table, I want you to write this in your book if you don't have it. One table has how many legs? And you can pause anytime you want to pause this video to write what you need to write. Okay, so one table has 4 legs, right? We know that tables have 4 legs. And we have to find out how many legs 5 tables have. So if one table has 4 legs, then 5 tables will have, what sum do you think we have to put here? Pause the video and write this sum you think, and then we'll see if it's correct. So 4 times 5. 4, which is how many legs one has, times 5, which is how much we want to find out about. So this is what our sum looks like so far, our word statements. And then the last thing we have to do is find our answer. So we have to work out 4 times 5. How much is 4 times 5? 20. 4 times 5 is 20. So our answer is 20 legs because they asked how many legs. So we put 20 legs. So these 3 lines are all you need to do when you're writing your word statement. How much one has, and then how much the number we want to find out will have, and then your answer. So let's look at this one. There are 6 eggs in one box. How many eggs are there in 4 boxes? So we always start with how much one has. Our first line should always be how much one has. So one box has how many eggs? One box equals 6 eggs. That's what we know. And we want to find out how many 4 boxes will have. And we know when we know how much one has, and we want to find out how much more we'll have, we multiply. So one box equals 6 eggs. 4 boxes will equal 6 times 4. So now I want you to work out 6 times 4. 24 eggs. Because the question asks how many eggs. So that's why we're putting the word eggs there. One box equals 6 eggs. 4 boxes equals 6 times 4, which is equal to 24 eggs. So you see we have our 3 lines. Right, so in class today, these were the ones we had to do. Number 1, an insect has 6 legs. how many legs do 3 insects have? So our first line, 1 insect equals 6 legs. That's what we know, 1 insect has 6 legs. 3 insects will be what? What will our multiplication sum be here? So pause and write the sum. Right, 6. That's how many legs 1 has, times 3. That's how many insects we have altogether. So we have to work out 6 times 3, which is 18. So this is how we write our word statements, how we write our number statement, and how we write our answer. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Four children have 5 pencils each. How many pencils do they have altogether? So I think an important word here is each. So each means that every one. So 4 children have 5 pencils each. That means that every one child has 5 pencils. So if we know that every one child has 5 pencils, what would our first line be? So pause the video, write the first line in your book, and then come back when you've written it. So our first line will be 1 child Okay, I think I should type this. It's a bit messy. Our first line will be 1 child equals, so we put our equal sign that says like has, 1 child has what? 5 pencils. That's what we know. And what do we write on this line where we have to put what we're trying to find out? So pause the video and write what you think we're putting on the second line. Right, on the second line, we're putting 4 children equals. So we know that 1 child has 5 pencils, and we want to find out how many pencils 4 children will have. So we know that our sum will be 5, which is how many pencils 1 child has, times 4, which is how many children there are. So that's where we get our number. We got our 5 from up here, and we got our 4 from here. Okay, so pause your video, work it out, write your answer on the third line, and then come back. 5 times 4, when we say our 5 times table or 4 times table, we know that 5 times 4 is 20. So we write 20, and then we don't just stop there. We have to write pencils because they ask how many pencils. So our answer is 20 pencils. So again, the first line is how much 1 has. The second line is what we have to work out to find out how many the number they gave us will have. So they gave us 4 children here. This is what we work out to find out how many 4 children will have. And we put our answer and we put the object. Okay, let's move on to the next one. How many gloves are in 11 pairs? So this one is a little thinker. You're only seeing one number, but if you look very carefully and you think about it, you will notice that there are 2 numbers here. So it's asking how many gloves are in 11 pairs. So I want you to pause the video and write, if you think you know, write the sum, the word statements, the 3 lines if you think you know what to do. If not, let's go through. So our first line will be, remember your first line is always how much 1 has. So they are asking how many gloves are in 11 pairs. But first we need to think about how many gloves are in 1 pair. So 1 pair is equal to, pause the video and write it if you know it, and then come back. 1 pair. And if you're not sure, think about, you have a pair of eyes. How many eyes do you have? You have a pair of ears. How many ears do you have? You have a pair of hands. You have a pair of feet. So how much is a pair? And if you got 2, you're correct. So 1 pair is equal to 2 gloves. Right, that's our first line. Try to write the second line and then come back and see if you're correct. So they told us how much 1 pair has, and they're asking us to find out how much 11 pairs have. So our second line will be 11 pairs equal, and our sum will be 2. That's how much is in 1 pair, times 11. That's how much we're trying to find out. So 1 pair equals 2 gloves. 11 pairs will equal 2 times 11, which is 22. And 22 what? Well, we can always go back and see they asked how many gloves. So our answer is 22 gloves. Okay. And that's it. You have your 3 lines. Let's look at the next one. Okay, so number 4, 1 flower has 3 petals. How many petals do 9 flowers have? So what I would like you to do, pause the video right now and write out. I think you know enough to do this one on your own. So pause the video and write the number statement, the word statement, everything. Okay, so let's see if what you have is correct. We know that our first line has to be about 1, how much 1 has. And they told us right there that 1 flower equals 3 petals. And then our second line, they're asking how many petals will 9 flowers have. So our next line will be 9 flowers equal, and what do we have to work out to find our answer? 3 times 9. We got our 3 from up here and our 9 from here. 3, that's how many petals in a flower, times 9, that's how many flowers we have. And then when we work it out, that will be equal to 27. What word do we put here? Petals, because they asked how many petals. If you got this, give yourself a high five. If not, I want you to go back through the examples, try changing up the numbers and see if you can work it out. Right? So, this was one I wanted you to try on your own, but I'm seeing that the entire sum isn't here. So let's write in some more. Each shelf has 5 books. How many books will 7 shelves have? So I want you to work this one out on your own and send me a picture of what you get. So write your word statement, write your number statement, write your answer, write the object, and send me a picture of what you get. Yeah, so I hope this video helps.